Hello everyone, welcome to Excel Education. We shall resume our daily current affairs MCQ videos. So let us begin our today's video, Current Affairs MCQ of 27 July 2020. Here is the preview of the topics we shall go through in the videos. The topics are Ways and Means Advances, Social Stock Exchange, Climate and Clean Air Coalition, Corporate Income Tax, Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, Foreign Direct Investment Policy of India, New Development Bank, GI Tech, Special Window for Affordable and Mid-Income Housing, and Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Now, starting the video with the first question. Consider the following statements regarding ways and means advances. Statement 1. Ways and means advances is a facility for both the center and states to borrow from the RBI. Statement 2. These are purely long-term borrowing used for development purposes. Statement 3. The interest rate on ways and means advances is the Reserve Bank of India's repo rate. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A 1 and 2, option B 1 and 3, option C 2 and 3, option D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option B 1 and 3. Coming to the explanation. The Reserve Bank of India RBI recently announced a 60% increase in the ways and means advances limit of state governments over and above the level as on March 31st with a view to enabling them to undertake COVID-19 containment and mitigation efforts and to better plan their market borrowings. Ways and means advances is a facility for both the center and states to borrow from the RBI. These borrowings are meant purely to help them to tide over temporary mismatches in cash flows of their receipts and expenditures. In that sense, they aren't a source of finance per se. Section 17 Clause 5 of the RBI Act 1934 authorizes the central bank to lend to the center and state governments subject to their being repayable not later than 3 months from the date of making of the advance. The interest rate on ways and means advances is the Reserve Bank of India's repo rate, which is basically the rate at which it lends short-term money to banks. The governments are, however, allowed to draw amount in excess of their WML limits. The interest on such overdraft is 2 percentage points above the repo rate. Further, no state can run an overdraft with the RBI for more than a certain period. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements correctly defines the Social Stock Exchange SSA? Statement A. A platform listing public sector enterprises exclusively. Statement B. Exchange for raising funds for public initiatives of the government. Statement C. A government-owned securities exchange to limit speculative trading. Statement D. Exchange for listing social enterprises and voluntary organization. The correct answer for this is Statement D. Exchange for listing social enterprises and voluntary organization. The Finance Minister, as part of the budget speech for financial year 2019-20, had announced steps towards creating an electronic fundraising platform, a social stock exchange under the regulatory ambit of Securities and Exchange Board of India for listing social enterprises and voluntary organizations working for the realization of a social welfare objective so that they can raise capital as equity, debt, or as units like a mutual fund. Accordingly, SEBI constituted a working group on social stock exchanges under the chairmanship of Isad Hussain on September 2019. The committee has recently submitted its report. The social stock exchange will have two primary roles, which are to effectively deploy the fundraising instruments and structures available under the regulatory guidelines towards social enterprises and to foster overall sector development by creating a capacity building unit. Heading to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Climate and Clean Air Coalition. Statement 1. Climate and Clean Air Coalition is an initiative of Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) for protecting the climate in next few decades by reducing short-lived climate pollutants across sectors. Statement 2. It acts as a catalyst to create, implement and share immediate solutions addressing near-term climate change to improve people's lives. Statement 3. The coalition initial focus is on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A 1 and 2, option B 1 and 3, option C 2 and 3, option D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option C 2 and 3. India has formally joined the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, becoming the 65th country to join the partnership. The Climate and Clean Air Coalition is the only global effort that unites governments, civil society and private sector committed to improving air quality and protecting the climate in next few decades by reducing short-lived climate pollutants across sectors. Complementary to mitigating carbon dioxide emissions, the coalition acts as a catalyst to create, implement and share immediate solutions addressing near-term climate change to improve people's lives rapidly and to ensure sustainable development for future generations. The coalition's initial focus is on methane, black carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. At the same time, partners recognize that action on short-lived climate pollutants must complement and supplement, not replace global action to reduce carbon dioxide, in particular efforts under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The coalition's objectives are to address short-lived climate pollutants by raising awareness of short-lived climate pollutant impacts and mitigation strategies, enhancing and developing new national and regional actions, including by identifying and overcoming barriers, increasing capacity and mobilizing support, promoting best practices and showcasing successful efforts, improving scientific understanding of short-lived climate pollutant impacts and mitigation strategies. Heading to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the corporate income tax in India. Statement 1. The foreign companies working in India are not liable to pay corporate income tax. Statement 2. As a percentage of GDP, the CIT revenue has been consistently higher than that of goods and services tax revenue for last 5 years. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option B 2 only. As a percentage of GDP, the CIT revenue has been consistently higher than that of GST revenue for last 5 years. The corporate income tax is applicable to an Indian company and as well as foreign company working in India. A resident company is taxed on its worldwide income, while a non-resident company is taxed on income that is received in India or is deemed to occur or arise in India. Data from Economic Survey 2019-20 shows that corporate income tax revenue as percent of GDP has been consistently higher than that of the GST revenue. Graph has been shown explaining the data. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following statements are correct about the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO? Statement 1. It is a national regulatory body for Indian pharmaceuticals and medical devices. Statement 2. It works under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Statement 3. Regulation of sales and distribution of drugs is its primary concern. Choose the correct answer. Option A 1 only, option B 1 and 2, option C 2 and 3, option D 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option B 1 and 2. The Central Drugs Standard Control Organization is the national regulatory body for Indian pharmaceuticals and medical devices. It is the central drug authority for discharging functions assigned to the central government under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Under the Drug and Cosmetics Act, the regulation of manufacture, sale and distribution of drugs is primarily the concern of the state authorities, while the central authorities are responsible for approval of new drugs, clinical trials in the country, laying down the standard for drugs, control over the quality of imported drugs and coordination of the activities of state drug control organizations. It works under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Additional fact of the topic is also given. Within the CDSCO, the Drug Controller General of India regulates pharmaceutical and medical devices. National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority controls prices of drugs as per the Essential Commodities Act 1955. Heading to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the foreign direct investment policy of India. Statement 1. An entity of a country which shares land border with India can invest only under the government route. Statement 2. 100% FDI is permitted in domestic scheduled passenger airlines. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option C, both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. The government of India reviewed the foreign direct investment policy for curbing opportunistic takeovers or acquisitions of Indian companies due to the current COVID-19 pandemic in April 2020. Therefore, a non-resident entity can invest in India subject to the FDI policy except in those sectors or activities which are prohibited. However, an entity of a country which shares land border with India or where the beneficial owner of an investment into India is situated in or is a citizen of any such country can invest only under the government route. Further, a citizen of Pakistan or an entity incorporated in Pakistan can invest only under the government route in sectors or activities other than defense, space, atomic energy and sectors or activities prohibited for foreign investment. As per the present FDI policy, 100% FDI is permitted in scheduled air transport service or domestic scheduled passenger airline, automatic up to 49% and government route beyond 49%. However, for NRIs, 100% FDI is permitted under automatic route in scheduled air transport service or domestic scheduled passenger airline. Further, FDI is subject to the condition that substantial ownership and effective control shall be vested in Indian national as per Aircraft Rules 1937. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding New Development Bank. Statement 1. The New Development Bank is a multilateral development bank established by the BRICS states. Statement 2. The state governments in India can seek loan assistance from New Development Bank. Statement 3. India is the second largest shareholder of the New Development Bank. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 1 and 3. Option C, 1 and 2. Option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option C, 1 and 2. The New Development Bank, NDB, formerly referred to as the BRICS Development Bank, is a multilateral development bank established by the BRICS states, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. The bank shall support public or private projects through loans, guarantees, equity participation and other financial instruments. Moreover, the NDB shall cooperate with international organizations and other financial entities and provide technical assistance for projects to be supported by the bank. The authorized capital for New Development Bank is $100 billion while initial subscribed capital is $50 billion. Initial subscribed capital was equally distributed among the founding members, $10 billion each. Voting power of each member is equal to the number of each subscribed shares in capital stock. New Development Bank has decided to lend 6,000 crore rupees to Andhra Pradesh government for various projects. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is or are correctly matched? Left side GI tag is mentioned and on the right side the name of the state. Option 1. Tirur betel leaf is associated to Kerala. Option 2. Palani Panchamirtham is associated with Nagaland. Option 3. Tualopun is associated with Tamil Nadu. Select the correct code. Option A, 1 and 3. Option B, 1 only. Option C, 2 and 3. Option D, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer for this is option B, 1 only. Tirur betel leaf is associated to Kerala. Government has allowed GI tags to 4 new products during 2019. Palani Panchamirtham in Palani town, Tamil Nadu. Tuahlopun from Mizoram, Mizo Punche from Mizoram, and Tirar Beetle leaf from Kerala. Moving on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding the special window for affordable and mid-income housing. Statement 1. The initiative provides collateral-free debt funding to affordable house buyers. Statement 2. The central government is the sponsor of the SWAMIH fund. Which of the statements are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option B, 2 only. The central government is the sponsor to the special window for affordable and mid-income housing fund. Special window for affordable and mid-income housing fund, SWAMIH fund, provides priority debt financing for the completion of stalled housing projects that are in the affordable and middle-income housing sector. This fund would provide relief to developers that require funding to complete a set of unfinished projects and consequently ensure delivery of houses to the home buyers. For the purposes of the fund, the government acts as the sponsor. The fund is set up as an alternative investment fund debt fund registered with SEBI. The SBI CAP Ventures Limited is the investment manager for First AIF under the special window. During the recent review by Ministry of Finance, it was reported that the fund has so far approved 81 projects with an investment of Rs 8,767 crore. Moving on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Statement 1. The premises of the mission is inviolable and the agents of the receiving state may not enter them except with the consent of the head of the mission. Statement 2. The receiving state may require that the size of a mission be kept within limits considered by it to be reasonable. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, both 1 and 2. Option D, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this is option C, both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. Article 22 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations 1961 states that the premises of the mission shall be inviolable. The agents of the receiving state may not enter them except with the consent of the head of the mission. The receiving state is under a special duty to take all appropriate steps to protect the premises of the mission against any intrusion or damage and to prevent any disturbance of the peace of the mission or impairment of its dignity. The premises of the mission, their furnishings and other property thereon, and the means of the transport of the mission shall be immune from such requisition, attachment, or execution. Article 11 of the Convention states that in the absence of specific agreement as to the size of the mission, the receiving state may require that the size of a mission be kept within limits considered by it to be reasonable and normal. The receiving state may equally, within similar bounds and on a non-discriminatory basis, refuse to accept officials of a particular category. So this is the end of today's video. Hope you liked the video. So please like and share our video and subscribe to our channel for the upcoming videos and press the bell icon for further notifications. Thank you.